Hi guys, I'm excited to share with you my presentation. As you can probably already tell, I'm going to be focusing on the Taj Mahal, but more specifically, who built it, why, and what that can tell us about the Mughal Empire's power and influence. The Taj Mahal looms over a vast garden. It was built more than 300 years ago and stands as a tribute of love between a Mughal emperor and his late wife. Today, it is a World Heritage Site and is India's most popular tourist attraction. But what is the Taj Mahal? When the Emperor Shah Jahan was only 15 years old, he was betrothed to the love of his life. 5 years later, they were finally married, and it was said that they were best friends as well as soulmates to one another. He gave her the name Mumtaz Mahal, which means Jewel of the Palace. Together they had 14 children. Not all of them lived, and even more tragic, after giving birth to their 14th child, Mumtaz passed away. Struck with grief, it is said that the Emperor Jahan's hair turned white only a couple of days after her passing. To honor his dear love, he commissioned the construction of a mausoleum that would be her final resting place. And that is what the Taj Mahal is. Today you can go and you can see the cenotaphs for yourself, which are monuments for people buried elsewhere. The emperor and his wife are actually buried side by side underneath the Taj Mahal. A fun little side note, according to legend, there would have been a black Taj Mahal built just across the Yamuna River, and this would have been the final resting place for the emperor. But the reasons it was never built was that his son had deposed him, so it was never built. But personally, I am happy that he was buried next to his wife. Why do I mention this? Partly because a black Taj Mahal would have been neat, but in truth, I wanted to segue into my final point, and that has to do with the Mughals themselves. So who were the Mughals? The Mughals were a resilient people. From the 16th even to the 18th century, they held power and influence in most of South Asia. Now, not all Mughal emperors were kind of benevolent. But that being said, along with the spread of Islam, this period of history actually experienced periods of religious tolerance. It also brought many smaller kingdoms together, creating a centralized government. This government also sought to give respect for human rights, and even created a system of education that took into account a student's needs and culture. Something that is also neat to note is that they actually outlawed the killing of cattle, because that was offensive to Hindu. But what does this tell us about the Mughal Empire's power and influence, especially when we look at the Taj Mahal? A special thanks to my brother-in-law for donating one of his mission photos. When you look at the Taj Mahal, you can see stability, and an expression of power and confidence, if not just one of love. At the time, the Taj must have been visible for miles, without the obstruction of other buildings there today. Even with the end of the Mughals' empire, you can still see this beautiful building standing as what some have called a teardrop on the cheek of time. Thank you all again for watching. I would appreciate feedback on my presentation, but more specifically on any of the facts that I may have gotten messed up. But I wanted to wish you guys a great rest of the week.